Like I still remember putting margarine on a piece of bread, and then I would put ground beef in that piece of bread.
You've told me about this.
And then I would put ranch on top of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you call that?
Delicious. Death.
Wow.
Worth it.
Cool.
Moving on. Welcome to Stuff That We Like / Enjoy, at least to this point in time. I'm Caleb.
And I'm Christina.
We're the Castanedas.
Yes, and this week we're going to hop right in and I'm going to ask Caleb, what is something you like or enjoy, at least at this point in time?
So the topic I like / enjoy, at least at this point in time, is sweat.
Oh.
Yeah. And my question I'm going to cover today is, what is sweat? You want to take a stab at it before I get in?
It is fluid that is excreted from your body. And I think it's mainly made out of water. And it's got some toxins and other stuff in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sweat, the definition I got from the internet. Oh, go ahead.
And it's wet.
And it's wet. Sweat is wet. Dr. Seuss over here. Sweat, also known as perspiration, is a salty liquid produced by glands in the skin. It's a normal part of life that helps your body maintain a healthy temperature by cooling you down. When you sweat, the liquid evaporates, and as it does, it draws heat away from your skin, reducing your body's temperature.
Huh.
So it's primarily used to cool you down.
So it draws heat away from your skin.
When you sweat, the liquid evaporates.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it takes heat with it or something.
I guess so. I guess if you're also sweating outside and your sweat is on your skin when the wind hits your skin,
that feels good.
it feels cooler.
You do feel
So
cooler.
that could be part of it as well.
Or why we like go swimming in summer to cool down. Okay, so moisture makes you cooler.
Yeah, essentially.
Unless it's a hot tub.
I guess so.
All right, sorry.
It's all right.
Or tea.
It's okay. Yeah.
Or a soup.
You bathed in tea recently?
No, it just it's a liquid.
If you were to bathe in tea, what kind of tea would it be?
Oh, I feel like green tea. I feel like it would detox you.
Yeah, green tea would be good.
Yeah.
You wake up and you get in some black
Maybe.
tea, though. Get that caffeine through the skin.
Maybe like a ginger green tea.
You know they have caffeine chews now?
Oh.
You put them inside your lip like a regular chew, and you just suck the caffeine out.
Huh. I knew friends that like for their jobs and stuff, they would just like have caffeine pills throughout the day. So it's probably a better way to absorb it quicker.
Yeah.
Can't be good for
I
you.
want to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It probably isn't good for you long term.
I was in a meeting the other day, and this girl next to me, she pulled out two. They're from like Trader Joe's, but they're like energy shots. So it's supposed to be like a
Healthy energy
healthy
shot.
like 5-hour energy.
Yeah.
And she just had two of them. I was like, oh, look, let me look at that. And she's like, they're like 75 grams of caffeine each. So it was like 150, which is like a full on espresso. They might have been more than that.
Espresso is only like 70 or 80.
I think it gets up to 150.
It can. I guess
200?
if it's a double,
Yeah.
it is.
Like a double shot, which is most things. Anyways, yeah, she like just like threw back like 200 grams.
What time was it when she did that?
It was in the afternoon.
Oh,
and,
God.
and she's already like a really fun, like bubbly person. I'm like, she's going to be.
She's going to be on
Popping
fire.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's going to be hanging from the ceilings.
Yeah.
I mean, not in a bad way. Yeah. Anyways, the history of sweat. We're going to dive into this now. Sweat is one of the oldest biological functions. Debatable. Maybe pee was the first thing to come out of a body. Did Adam pee before he sweat?
It matters, yeah, what the temperature of Eden was.
Probably perfect.
Yeah, I feel like it was really humid there.
Did Adam need to pee if it was perfect?
Did he even need to drink? He could have just absorbed the water from the atmosphere.
Yeah. So when he was kicked out of the garden, what did he do first, sweat or pee? I bet he peed.
I would say sweat because he's probably, a little distressed getting kicked out of the garden. He's probably not like, let me go have a glass of river water.
Unless he peed himself when he became aware of his own sin.
And then he saw the angel with the
flaming sword, which would make you sweat.
Yeah, and pee. It could have it's like a chicken and egg situation.
Exactly.
Could have been both.
We got to put a poll on our Instagram. Did Adam sweat or pee first? So humans are actually elite sweaters. No animal sweats like we do. That's how ancient humans outran prey on the African savanna.
Okay, by sweating.
Because we can cool down our bodies faster.
Oh, that makes sense because you think of like a cheetah, it's like panting. It's not really sweating. It's got to cool down.
I think they're referring specifically to like deer. Because
so Africans running down at prey rather than escaping.
It's called persistence hunting. And it's still used in some places.
They'll run for like a marathon. They'll just run until the deer is done. It's so impressive.
Yeah, and they'll kill it with a knife. They won't even,
Crazy.
because the deer will be passed out on the ground. Pretty wild.
Yeah.
So ancient Greeks believed sweat released toxins. Medieval Europe thought sweat was a sign of moral impurity.
Ooh.
And Victorians, they did everything they could to stop it. Enter talc, lace, and deodorant stones. So, do you know what a deodorant stone is?
It's like a salty stone that you get wet and you rub on yourself.
Yeah.
I used one for a while.
Yeah.
And it worked fine for like a month. And then it smelled like poop. The stone itself. And so it just didn't work anymore. Not like poop. It just smelled like BO.
You may have been using it wrong if it smelled like poop.
Well, you're supposed to wet it and then rub it on your armpits. And then you cap it back off. And if it maybe didn't dry properly or your armpits weren't 100% scent free when you rubbed it on there. I don't know.
Well,
I don't
for
think
those people
error.
for those people who don't know what a deodorant stone is, it's a natural deodorant typically made from mineral salts like potassium alum, which inhibits odor-causing bacteria growth. It works by creating an invisible barrier on the skin, preventing bacteria from multiplying and causing odor. So some facts about sweat. Sweat smells, but not the way you think.
Okay.
Fresh sweat is odorless. The smell comes when bacteria on your skin break it down.
Oh.
Different parts of your body produce different types of sweat. Eccrine versus apocrine glands, which react differently with bacteria. So depending on the gland, it will smell different.
Different glands in the body. Oh,
Depending on which gland is sweating.
Armpits smell and your wrists don't. Not that maybe many people's wrists sweat, but
You sweat from your wrists?
well, sometimes with my watch.
Oh, I see. You don't naturally. I think I sweat from my wrists.
Yeah.
My hands sweat sometimes. Not the palms, but the outsides of them. So, some people sweat more, and it's genetic. So, hyperhidrosis is real, and it's not just nervous sweating. Some people sweat from their palms, feet, and even their butt. All day, every day, regardless of temperature.
All day.
All day?
It sucks.
Every day?
Just
Regardless of temperature?
butt sweat all day.
That would suck. Especially if you had like an office job and you get up and you got that crack stain.
Yeah, you just have to wear like a little diaper or something.
You would.
Moisture wicking undies.
Yeah. Put some Depends on.
So it's genetic. It's not
Yes.
just, somebody's nervous or anxious or they're hot. It's just
Yeah.
sweet.
I have a friend who his palms sweat constantly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm someone who doesn't sweat very easily at all. So I have
hardly
the
at all.
opposite problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Another fun fact is fit people sweat faster. Uh-oh.
What?
You don't sweat very fast. I'm just kidding. It's not because you're out of shape. They're out of shape. It's because their bodies are more efficient at cooling down. The more you work out, the quicker your body learns to
Yes.
sweat. So it's a good thing. Your body can actually learn to sweat more.
Have you experienced that?
Yes, but I thought it was just because I was gaining weight. I didn't think it was because I was
That's
an athlete.
interesting. About 10 years ago, I was having a real hard season in life. Like, didn't really have any friends, had people being mean to me and stuff. And so I would just like,
Who were they?
all right, well, I didn't.
Keep going.
They're all married now. And so I don't know. I can just throw out their old names. But I had a workout bike. And so in the evenings, I would come home from like school or work and just sit on the stationary bike, watch like a TV show and bike for like an hour and a half. And so it got where my body was, so, after a period of time, I would really start sweating like 40, 50 minutes in. But then it became a problem because I would like go and like play some light volleyball with a friend, at like a school picnic and just like fountain of
Body's
sweat.
like,
Because my
"Time to cool
body's
down."
like, all right, she's going to start doing this for an hour and a half.
She's going hard.
And I was not. So I would just like fountains. So I don't do that anymore. But yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Cool fact, though, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know you
Your
could
body
learn to
gets
sweat
used to
more.
it.
So some practical advice on what to know about sweat and how to treat it. So some knowledge about deodorant versus antiperspirant. Deodorant will mask the smell of sweat, which comes from bacteria on your skin. Antiperspirants blocks sweat glands with aluminum salts. If you want to sweat less, if you want less sweat, you need an antiperspirant. Just know that that's temporary.
And it's very bad for you.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you're blocking your glands with aluminum.
And your body's absorbing aluminum.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah, so be careful what kind of antiperspirant you're buying.
Just don't buy any. Like, no.
Well, just be careful about it. Because I do it.
No, you don't. We returned it.
I have my deodorant now has an antiperspirant properties.
Babe.
Listen,
It's an endocrine disruptor.
I don't like having sweat stains. Okay, I get sweat stains and everything. Don't get me wrong. When I sweat, everybody sees it. But I don't like having dirty brown stains on my shirt. On every single shirt I have.
You wear almost all black shirts.
I know. And they start to turn like a salty white under the armpits if I don't use an antiperspirant deodorant.
That's from the deodorant.
Mm-mm. No, it's
It
a
doesn't
clear
wash out?
deodorant.
It's a black shirt. How does that have white on it?
That's what I'm saying. My sweat mixes with it. The bacteria gets
It
in there
bleaches
somehow,
it?
and it kind of bleaches my shirt. Yeah.
Wow, I guess that can happen.
So I try to use an antiperspirant to sweat less,
Okay,
so I
well-
don't ruin them as fast.
Well, I would recommend to our viewers don't use antiperspirant.
And I would recommend just pick a good one. Pick a good one. Smells good.
You're just like Suave. Old Spice.
Some more practical advice would be that cotton isn't always your friend. Cotton traps moisture and can lead to breakouts. So use moisture-wicking fabrics when you're active, but do not wear moisture-wicking fabrics all the time. This is something we learned from our friends the
Yes.
Richards. When you wear moisture-wicking fabrics, you start to actually absorb those fabrics into your skin.
Which is full of chemicals, and polyester is a form of, plastics.
And so you're getting microplastics in your skin by wearing that all day. So change out of it when you're done exercising and change back into cotton.
Yeah, especially your armpits. If it's tight, you've shaved your armpits, like the pores are open, just absorbing it all up.
Yeah. Make sure to put on your antiperspirant deodorants though. Watch for weird sweats. So night sweats could be stress. Could be something serious.
Tell me about it.
Sorry. It could also be something serious like an infection or hormonal imbalance. Suddenly, unexplained sweat with chest pain or nausea should not be... sudden unexplained sweat with chest pain or nausea should not be ignored. So it can be... What are you looking at me like that for? Have you had that?
Yes, like for the last 5 years.
Chest pain and nausea too?
Just the nausea part.
Oh, okay. Well, we're one symptom away.
Yeah.
We're fine. Yeah. Another practical point about sweat is to hydrate. Sweating depletes salt and minerals, not just water. That's why you feel weird after long workouts. So replenish your electrolytes, not
Yes.
just your water. Or you risk, it's a big word here, I've never heard of it, hyponatremia.
Okay,
Yeah. So lack of electrolytes, basically.
great.
So replenish the salts in your water, your salts in your body with electrolytes in your water after you're done sweating a lot, which I feel like everybody's pretty well informed on that these days.
Yeah.
It's pretty unknown when we were growing up. It was just
Right,
like
and
you
you
would
just maybe-
sweat and then you'd feel terrible.
And you'd have like a sports drink, like a Gatorade, which
Yeah.
is like mainly corn syrup or sugars with not that much salt.
It's the best we had.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
just kind of what people knew. So some idea of needing some salt replenishing
You
or
go-
having like salty snacks.
Yeah. You go on like a long bike ride with your friends around the block and you come home and have white bread and Gatorade.
Just white
And-
bread?
Well, no, you put some fake butter on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
margarine.
Margarine.
Can't believe it's not butter.
Oh man, did you have margarine as a kid?
No, we
You
would
didn't?
occasionally get Crisco that when I was a cake decorator in my youth. We would make buttercream frosting with Crisco.
Ooh.
But no. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've talked about it before, but that's all my family ate was margarine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Due
it was
to
delicious.
cost or
Yeah, it was cheap,
Yeah.
affordable. There were 7 of us.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still remember putting margarine on a piece of bread, and then I would put ground beef in that piece of
You've
bread.
told me about this.
And then I would put ranch on top of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you call that?
Delicious. Death.
Wow.
Worth it.
Cool.
Moving on. Closing thoughts on sweat. I never really used to think about sweat, but we decided recently to get an infrared sauna,
Yes.
which sounds like a brag, but it's really necessary for some conditions that we have.
Yes. And part of me not sweating, I need to
Yes.
get all these toxins out. So I stop having night sweats and terrors.
Yeah, exactly. So we're getting that. And while we were thinking about getting that, I started to wonder why we sweated in the first place. Now I know it's primarily a mechanism to cool down and not to get rid of toxins, because as it turns out, when you sweat, you get rid of very few toxins.
Okay.
Like a very, very trace amount comes out in your sweat. It doesn't really super help with detoxification, but for the most part, sweat is to cool your body down. And that's what I learned through discovering this topic.
So interesting.
Although with an infrared sauna, the biggest benefit that comes is blood flow.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible to help. How do you say vasculate your veins or
Your vascular system get moving. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, they expand or
Mhm,
enlarge.
that's what it is. Your veins expand and allows better blood flow to your body, as well as releasing a good amount of toxins. But the infrared is great for your skin. It's great for your eyes. There's even been people with improved eyesight because they've done
Really?
infrared saunas. Yeah.
Crazy. Probably just getting the toxins in their blood flow because
Yeah.
your eyes need blood
Yeah.
to work.
Yeah, and there are toxins that are coming out, just
Yeah.
not as much as we thought.
Cool.
So that's why I thought it was cool.
Great. Love it. Well, do you have any myths to bust related to sweat?
Yes. Why don't we go to our next segment called...
Myth busted.
Is that what we're calling it?
Oh, what were we going to call it?
I don't know.
Myth time. Tell me the myth. Just spitballing. Myth manor.
Myth Manor's good.
There we go. All right.
I really I'm between Myth Manor and Myth Time. Myth Time sounds
so uncreative.
It's so uncreative that it's hilarious.
I love it. All right. Well, babe, tell me any myth related to sweat.
All right. This week on Myth Time, I'll tell you 3 different myths. I'm going to debunk them all. So sweating, this myth number 1, sweating means you're burning fat. Nope. You're just cooling down. Sweat is not tied to calorie burning. You can sit in a sauna and sweat buckets, and you won't burn more fat than walking a mile.
Okay.
Myth number 2, you need to sweat to get a good workout. False. Plenty of good workouts, like weightlifting or swimming, might not make you drip, but they still crack the whip.
You come up with that yourself.
I did at the very end.
I mean, that's true
Ad-libbed.
because, like, I'll go for a 3-mile run,
Yeah.
and like I won't really sweat at all, but I'll get my heart rate way up. So,
Yeah.
yes, it's not a great indicator.
Yeah.
But hey, if you go outside and it's like 90 degrees and 80% humidity, you feel real cool.
Welcome to
when
Missouri.
you're sweating. Yeah.
Mm. Third myth is antiperspirants cause cancer.
True.
There's been no clear link between aluminum and breast cancer. Still, if you want to go natural, go for it. Just know the difference between choice and fear-mongering.
What about all the other cancers? It just said breast.
I know. I didn't look into it that much because
Yeah,
I knew
it's
you would
from,
try
like-
to. I knew you'd try to
It's
debunk
from like
other ones.
the American Health Society, funded by Coca-Cola and margarine.
And
says-
aluminum deodorants.
And the deodorants
antiperspirants.
say this does not harm you.
Yeah, it could be.
All right. Love it.
So
Myth
I think. Oh yeah, myth busted.
busted. Wow, that was a lot of enthusiasm.
Yeah, myth.
Busted.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Next on this podcast, we like to do something called Conspiracy Corner. It's where Christina will present a conspiracy, and afterwards we'll discuss if we think it's true or false.
Yes. I'm not claiming to believe all of these conspiracies, but I'm going to present it as if I do. So don't come at me. We're exposing ourselves as secret conspiracists. All right. So my claim is, or the claim of the conspiracy is that there's something strange happening at Denver International Airport. So my question is, do you think there's something strange going on at the Denver International Airport? And I'm going to try and convince you why. Okay. You're already sold.
Yeah.
Great. All right. End of episode.
Beep. Credits.
All right. So here's the case for the claim that there's something weird going on at the Denver International Airport. Denver International Airport, also called DIA, was opened in 1995, and it has been the subject of numerous conspiracy theories even before it officially opened. And this is due to its unusual art, the architecture of the building, its construction history, and its remote location. Although it's called the Denver Airport, it's over 25 miles outside of the city, kind of in a very remote place. This is a interesting one for me because I grew up in Colorado, like about an hour away from the Denver airport. Therefore, I have flown in and out of the airport numerous times and have witnessed some of the things that I will tell you about now. So there's dozens of reasons that I think there's something unusual, or to think that there's something unusual happening at the Denver airport, but I'm just going to focus on 3, or else this could be a multi-hour episode. So these are 3 that I believe are going to be convincing. Before we start, it's interesting to note that the Denver airport is twice the size of any other airport in the United States by land mass. It's also the biggest airport in the world that was built solely for public transportation. So, meaning the amount of, it might not have the most terminals in the world, but it has the most land that encompasses the airport. So biggest in the world that was built solely for public transportation. There's some that are like military bases that are a little bit bigger. So even though there was a well-functioning Denver airport in downtown Denver, for some reason this massive airport was built 25 miles away from Denver, and the original downtown Denver airport was shut down. So theory number 1 about why there's something strange going on is the belief that there are secret underground bunkers hidden under the airport that are for the elite of the world.
There's for sure something under it. Yeah. I don't know if they're bunkers.
Yeah. So there is tons of seemingly unused tunnels buried underneath the airport. The airport's construction went $3 billion over budget, which was an even more extensive amount 30 years ago. And it was delayed by almost 2 years, going behind, which has led some people to believe that this extra time and money was spent on some extra projects. There are, and this is confirmed, 6 underground levels under the airport's main building, as well as several unused buildings on the property. So that's just a fact that there's underneath the airport is 6 underground levels. During construction, the airport had 22 miles of tunnels dedicated specifically to this state-of-the-art luggage transportation system, where it was supposed to transport the luggage down and, show up at the terminals to be loaded onto the airplanes. And the system failed spectacularly, allegedly. And the luggage system was abandoned, and a new above-ground system was quickly built, replacing it. So people believe that this was all a ruse and a reason to build miles and miles and miles of tunnels underground, maybe to house elites in times of crisis. During construction, there was also several incomplete buildings, likely at least 6, that the airport decided to stop building due to design changes for the airport. So they just buried the buildings.
There's buildings just buried over there?
Yes, allegedly. They just buried buildings on the property. So maybe these buildings also connected tunnels to house elites and bunkers. What's going on? So that's one theory. And it's interesting because it is confirmed that there are 6 levels underneath the airport and 22 miles of tunnels just for the luggage system that didn't work out. So theory number 2 is there's some creepy symbolic art at DIA. The Denver airport is home to a wide array of odd and very perplexing pieces of art The most notorious, you probably know this, is a massive statue of a horse outside the entrance of the airport. The statue's official name is Mustang, but it's locally known as Blucifer. A little bit take on Lucifer. So Blucifer is a 32-foot tall statue of a blue horse rearing up on its hind legs. And it has glowing red eyes, like neon bright eyes.
Yeah.
Which are really creepy at night. So driving into the entrance, there's this 32-foot blue horse rearing with its neon red eyes just staring into your soul. What's crazy is the artist who created Blucifer, his name was Luis Jimenez, and while working on the statue, a piece of it fell off, hit him, cut an artery in his leg, and he died as a result of the injury.
Right.
And his daughter ended up finishing the statue. So the thought is maybe this was a little bit of a cursed statue to start with.
Yeah.
There's also 3 massive murals in the luggage hall of the airport. These have always been bizarre to me. Like as a child, I grew up seeing them every time I went to the airport. They are painted by an artist called Leo Tenguma, and he titled the murals "Children of the World Dream of Peace." But I feel like there's anything but peace shown on the murals. The first mural shows a giant soldier with a gas mask on stabbing a dove with this massive sword. And there's a bunch of cowering children and women around him, and some of them are dead. So it's just a very ominous, massive mural in the luggage hall of this soldier. He looks kind of like a Nazi soldier stabbing a dove, and there's dying women and children around him. And you go a little further up, and the next mural shows the bodies of women and children and animals from all around the world. So there's Native American, Mexican, European, women and children that are dead in coffins or laying there dead, as well as animals. And there's a fire burning behind them. And then the third mural shows children from all the countries of the world surrounded by a 6-colored rainbow that's above them. And they seem to be led by a little blonde boy. And under them lays the dead soldier from the first mural. So it's hard to describe just from here how creepy these murals are, but it would definitely be worth a Google. Just look up Denver Airport murals. But very disturbing, very odd. These were presented at the opening of the airport, just to have 3 different massive murals with a bunch of dead people on them, dead children. Yeah, interesting thoughts. So there's also several gargoyle statues around the airport. And the third theory that might add to there being some kind of weird stuff going on in the airport is the idea that Freemasons control the airport, and it is like the ground headquarters for the New World Order or the Illuminati, as we've talked about in past episodes. So everything I'm going to say in this next section is just straight up facts. There's no conspiracy to it. It's just what you interpret from these facts.
Okay.
So Freemasons helped in the building of the Denver airport. On March 19th, 1994, there was a capstone ceremony for the opening of the airport. And present at the ceremony was the mayor of Denver, Wellington Webb. And he showed up to the capstone ceremony in a white Masonic apron and revealed that he was a member of the Prince Hall Freemasons. So this was very surprising to a lot of people. Usually being a Mason is a little bit more secretive, but the mayor's like, here I am. I'm a Mason.
Surprise.
Yes. And also present at the capstone ceremony was Charles Miller, the Freemason Grand Master of the Most Worshipful Grand Lodge of Colorado. So the highest Freemason of the Grand Lodge of Colorado. And Marvin Fowler, the Freemason Grand Master of the Most Worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Colorado. So there's 2 major lodges in Colorado that Freemasons participate in. And so the 2 Grand Masters were there along with the Freemason mayor for this ceremony. At the ceremony, they presented a granite capstone that was hollowed out on the inside to place items, making it a time capsule that was to be opened 100 years later. And on top of the capstone is engraved the names of the mayor and the Freemason Grandmasters with their titles. So it literally reads like Marvin Fowler, the Grand Worshipful Prince Master of the Lodge, and Charles Miller and the mayor. So it says on there, Masons. Also on the capstone, it reads, "This time capsule beneath the stone contains messages and memorabilia for the people of Colorado in 2094. So it's supposed to be opened 100 years later. And under it says the date of the stone placement, which was March 19th, 1994. And it ends with the text, New World Airport Commission. So people believe there's several hidden messages on this capstone. First of all, the recognition of 3 Freemasons, 1 being the mayor, 2 being the Grand Masters of the Freemason lodges in Colorado, and an allusion to the New World Order by stating New World Airport Commission on it, as well as the date. Although the airport did not open for 11 more months, as I mentioned, it opened in 1995, this ceremony happened in 1994 on March 19th. So if you add up the numbers 19 for 19 and 1994, it equals up to 33, which is the highest level that can be achieved as a Freemason. They have different levels of initiation. So it's very strange that this capstone ceremony for the opening of the airport was held 11 months earlier on a very interesting date, if you add up the numbers. Also, inside the time capsule are a pair of the mayor's shoes. And the removal of shoes in Freemasonry can signify initiation into Freemasonry or the acknowledgement of being on special or holy ground. So polling data, I couldn't find any specific polls related to the public's belief in the Denver airport conspiracies, but recent polls suggest that at least 16% of Americans believe in secret societies. So my final question: do you think that something strange is going on at the Denver International Airport?
Yes.
Any thoughts on that, or want to elaborate, or what do you think of that information?
I think it's probably Freemason. I think they probably have stuff going on underground. And I think it's connected to the government in some fashion, because you don't get that big or have that large of an operation without having to be known by the government, the U.S. government. So I think they're probably in cahoots, but I don't know if the Freemasons have infiltrated the highest levels of government or the government's just using the Freemasons in order to get some other agenda done in Colorado or Denver.
Yeah.
But I think there's something happening.
Yeah. Very interesting. To touch on what we had mentioned in last week's episode about your conspiracy of people hearing humming noises or kind of like things moving beneath them, there's been several reports of, so in Colorado Springs, which is in Colorado as well, there is a bunker for like U.S. presidents and stuff. It's supposed to be like in the D.C. area, and then Colorado Springs, where they would put the, highest government officials in these bunkers in the case of a nuclear fallout or, horrible war, something like that. And it's less than 100 miles away from the Denver airport. And there's been numerous reports of people feeling like they're hearing humming or noises underneath their house, even maybe the sound of like trucks driving by. And so there is a theory that there's tunnels connecting this underground bunker in Colorado Springs, which does exist, with the 6, levels, miles and miles of tunnels under the Denver airport. So some
that would make
thoughts
sense.
there.
Yeah.
Just tying it all up.
Do you think it's real?
I mean, I think there's something definitely weird going on just with the symbolic art. And like I said, I could have listed like 8 or 9 more weird things that happened. But just all these seemingly unnecessary underground levels and just the great involvement with the Freemasons. And I don't know. Could be something weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. So I convinced you.
Yeah.
Didn't even have to say anything and you're already convinced.
Yeah. Lastly, on this podcast, we like to recommend something to our viewers. So what's something you'd recommend?
Something I would recommend is picking an area in your house each week and organizing it.
Smart.
So it could be like a kitchen cabinet or your dresser or your closet. I've been trying to do this, and just organizing one area a week keeps it from becoming like, oh my gosh, my house is completely disorganized, or my, that extra closet you just throw everything into is exploding with materials. So by trying to do something like that once a week, it keeps everything a little bit more in control. So pick a spot and organize it each week in your house.
It's good to recommend.
Keep it tidy.
Yeah. Keep it tight.
Keep it tight.
I recommend getting a hat washer.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I wear a lot of hats. And so we got a hat washer the other day. It's just like this outline of a hat that you open and you put your hat in it and you wash your hat and dry it, and it keeps the shape of the hat. It doesn't dent it at all.
Yeah, you throw it in the washer machine and it's just like this plastic frame. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So that's my recommend.
All right, get a hat washer.
A hat washer.
Or a cat washer.
Or cat washer.
Just get rid of cats
Preferably
in general.
if you have a cat.
Just no cats.
Yeah.
They don't
Maybe
sweat.
get rid of the cat instead.
Yeah, cats don't sweat.
I know. That's why we can outrun them, kill them.
Oh, good point.
Lastly, on this podcast, we like to ask people to contact us with questions or topics you'd like us to discuss at
StuffThatWeLikePodcast@gmail.com.
You can follow this podcast and give it a like on Spotify or Apple. It really does help people find us, so please do that. Follow Christina on Instagram at
See Joyfully.
Christina also has a show segment we started doing called Stuff You Missed. It comes out on Fridays. You can find that on Instagram at
Stuff That We Like Podcast.
Yeah. And follow me at Caleb C. Media. I do freelance videography and photography, so email me at calebmcastaneda@gmail.com if you have needs in those areas. I also write music and would love to score your movie or short film. I had something come out this last week, so look for it on all audio platforms under Caleb Castaneda. And lastly, we have a video and podcast company that helps showcase churches in Kansas City and the U.S. So if you'd like to get your pastor on our podcast or need video done for your church or Christian nonprofit ministry, contact us at
moodwavemedia@gmail.com.
Very nice.
I'm nailing it.
Yeah, you are.
My
All right.
jaw pop.
That's all we got.
All right. Well, thank you. This has been Stuff That We Like /enjoy, at least this point in time. And